and hence to contaminate, to adulterate, and to fill the Tirupati Laddus with all kinds of dangerous chemicals. Ladies and gentlemen, acetic acid esters, artificial lactic acid, monoglycerides, beta-carotene, and fake flavors. This is what has been found. There has been massive adulteration, massive, huge amounts of adulteration of the Tirupati Laddu.
Wow, Arnab, I'm amazed by your logic. I mean, not only you, the BJP, the Chandrababunaidu, Telugudesam party, and the Janasena, all of you, you're saying that the Tirupati Laddu has been contaminated using dangerous chemicals which can hurt the Hindu sentiments but can spare the human health. A direct violation of Hindu sentiments, but no harm done to human health because of these dangerous chemicals. Amazing. Is there a more stupid argument than this? And for your information, Arnab, all these so-called chemicals that you have listed are all FSSAI approved food additives. Name me one dairy in the country which does not use all of these. I mean, beta-carotene, for example, is a well-known practice in dairy industry to standardize the color. I mean, the color varies by season and by feed. So this is used in the dairy industry to standardize the color. The lactic acid that you have said is used in curd for pH adjustment and taste control. The mono and diglycerides is heavily used in the dairies. These are called emulsifiers. The esters are used for flavor and aroma consistency. And none of these actually contribute to the milk fat, the real milk fat in the ghee. So the adulteration in ghee can only be proved when the lab reports from NDDB or NDRI can actually show the presence of non-permitted chemicals in it, or the presence of chemicals or the approved chemicals are exceeding the limits. So none of the lab reports, none of the NDDB lab reports present in the charge sheets actually proves that. This argument of yours only shows how poor your knowledge of chemistry is, how poor your knowledge of dairy science is.
There has been massive adulteration, massive, huge amounts of adulteration of the Tirupati Laddu during Jagan's time. This is a reality.
Not really, Arnab. There's not a single lab test report by NDDB or NDRI that have been mentioned in the charge sheet which actually says that the ghee is adulterated. Contrarily, all the lab test reports mentioned in the charge sheet only says one thing. The ghee is coming from 99.5% milk fat. I mean, if you have the guts, why don't you have an independent, chemical guy who actually can interpret these lab test reports on the panel? Why only politicians have? I mean, this is a matter of millions of devotees. So if you really want to know if the ghee is adulterated or not, I mean, chemically analyze, scientifically analyze the lab test reports. Bring on the panel, bring on the people who are chemically sound, who knows what they are speaking and can interpret the lab test reports. And unfortunately, Arnab, the people who have raised this issue of ghee adulteration in Tirumala, they are the people who are masters and professors in this game of adulteration. I mean, look at this TTD resolution, which is from 2016. The previous tender was given to a company called Indapur Milk and Foods. So who is this Indapur Milk and Foods? If you go to the Heritage website and look at their manufacturing units, the Indapur Milk and Foods is one of Heritage's manufacturing unit. So they have supplied ghee to Tirumala, and in 2016 there is a resolution which says they have failed the lab test. I mean, in 2016 when Chandrababunaidu was the CM. So he, through his own company, has provided ghee to Tirumala, made money from it, and now is accusing the Jagan's government that they have adulterated the ghee process, the adulterated ghee.
There's no point in Jagan going around and saying that, animal fats have not been found. What do you mean, Jagan? What do you mean?
What he means is what the report implies. All the NDDB reports and NDRI reports imply only one thing, that there is no animal fat and no vegetable fat present in the given samples. That is what Jagan has been saying. I challenge you, Arnab, why don't you display the NDDB lab reports word by word on your screen and bring the panel, bring the NDRI scientists or NDDB scientists or someone who can interpret these lab test reports properly and give a scientific analysis of what these reports mean. Do that. If you really want to do good to the Hindu society, then do that. Instead of doing a political interpretation of the charge sheet, why don't you do a scientific interpretation of the NDDB lab reports? That would actually prove if the ghee is adulterated or not, right?
I believe you're a Christian. Would you allow the sentiments of Christians to be played around with in the way that you have allowed the sentiments of Hindus to be toyed with? What are you doing, Jagan?
Arnab, it is so convenient of you to bring in Jagan's faith into this Tirupati Laddu issue. But if you are a real Hindu, if you want to really know the truth, I will pledge and I'll ask you again, word by word, analyze what the lab reports say. If you really have the guts, do that.
Because if the most sacred offering in the temple is contaminated and adulterated, it is a direct violation of Hindu sentiments.
See, again the same logic. A massive adulteration using chemicals can hurt Hindu sentiments but spare the human health. No damage done to human health as per their logic.
And remember, Jagan, in this country there are over 100 crore Hindus. You must remember that, Jagan, every morning and night when you wake up. You must know I can't play with the sentiments of Hindus. But you've done that.
So Arnab, just because Jagan's faith is Christianity, you think he would sit in the CM's office every day and think about toying with other religions? Is that what you think all the non-Hindu chief ministers do? I mean, are you telling me that only the Hindu chief ministers can protect the Hindu temples? Is that what you're really saying?
It has been proven with the latest report, Supreme Court led report, Supreme Court ordered report, that there has been massive amount of chemical adulteration of the Tirupati Laddu.
Proven, Arnab. What is proven? When did the charge sheet start becoming a judgment copy? Is that a final conviction order? I mean, if that really is proven, then why is there not a single arrest of a YSRCP party member? I mean, is there at least a regulatory ban on the milk companies mentioned in the charge sheet, like they did for Patanjali? None of it happened.
And how did this issue come to light? Only when in 2024, when Chandrababunaidu took over again once as Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, he is the one who raked up the issue of the impurity and adulteration of the prasadam.
You are absolutely right, Arnab. Chandrababunaidu has raked up this issue in 2024 because he is the only one in the whole world who is the master and professor in the game of adulteration. I mean, you can go and Google how many complaints does his own heritage company has in adulteration of milk, curd and ghee. And he is the one who has supplied adulterated ghee to Tirumala in 2015 and 16. So there is no one better than him who knows the process of ghee adulteration. So he is the one who raked it up. Chandrababunaidu and Pawan Kalyan have deliberately, very pre-planned and used the Hindu sentiments, the emotions of Hindu sentiments to garner votes and come to power.
CBI-led investigation has figured out that the laddus that were distributed as prasad in Tirupati from 2019 to 2024, hear me aloud, Jagan, were indeed adulterated and massively adulterated.
You can shout all you want, Arnab. Shouting doesn't make it right. I mean, there are multiple lab reports mentioned in the charge sheet which proves that the ghee is not adulterated between 2019 and 2024. But there are TTD resolutions to prove that there is adulterated ghee supplied by the Indapur Milk and Food, which is a manufacturing unit of Heritage owned by Mr. Chandrababunaidu.
These esters which were used to spike the RM value, creating a false positive for pure ghee in standard lab tests, which means there was a huge conspiracy.
Arnab, did you just say that esters have been, chemicals like esters have been used to adjust the RM values? Is that what you just said? This shows how much you lack knowledge in dairy chemistry. Let me break this down for you. RM value actually counts the short chain fatty acids that are present in the milk fat. And the way RM values and Polanski values are done is they do saponification and distillation, and then they break down the milk fats and count those milk fats present in the ghee sample. So, for example, you take gold, you could have, a million impurities in it. You can paint it with gold. But when you heat the gold, the actual pure gold, you start collecting the actual pure gold and all the impurities disappear. The same thing happens here when the RM value and Polanski value is calculated using saponification. All the chemicals, actually get disappeared in the process. And you are contrarily saying that those have been used to adjust the RM value. If manipulation of RM values and Polanski values is so easy, every Vanaspati manufacturer would have become, would pass these ghee tests. If chemical tweaking alone can defeat the labs, then NDDB, NDRI, and FASI would become so obsolete, isn't it?
It is a matter of great shame, and concern.
Surely, Arnab, it is a matter of great shame that parties like BJP, Janasena, and Telugudesam have been using this Laddu issue, the Hindu sentiments, the emotions of Hindu sentiments to garner votes and come back to power. That is a matter of great shame. They've been destroying the social harmony in the state.
That for 5 years, known period of 5 years, there has been chemical adulteration of the Tirupati Laddu.
Arnab, if you want to carry the BJP mantle or if you want to carry the TDP's mantle on your shoulder, that is fine. But do the right thing. Analyze the lab reports with the right people on the panel. And that is how you can do good to the Hindu sentiments if you really a Hindu, a true Hindu.
Fold your hands, go before the people of the country and apologize for this. That is the only alternative that you face today.
Folding hands and apologize? Why would Jagan need to do that when all the lab reports are only pointing to one thing, that the ghee is pure ghee? On the contrary, Chandrababunaidu, Pawan Kalyan and the BJP has to fold their hands and apologize to the public and let them know that they have used Hindu sentiments, Hindu emotion to garner votes and lower the value of the prasadam. Not only that, now the Telugudesam party, they use this issue as a marketing tool. They put up banners across the state and thereby weakening the faith of devotees. And when the leaders of YSRCP question why they're putting up the banners when the matter is in the court and is sub judice, they start going as a mob and attacking the leaders of YSRCP's house, even when there are children and women inside the house. This is what happened in the last week.
In fact, it's only chemicals which have been used out here, which mimic chemicals which mimic dairy parameters. So it's a chemical laddu.
Do you even know how absurd your claim is? If oils and chemicals can be turned into ghee, why aren't oil refineries destroying the dairy industry? Can you name me one chemical that can recreate the natural butyric acid, caproic and caprylic acid, which are the short chain fatty acids detected in the lab test reports? Can you name me one chemical? So if only chemicals have been used, why do the test reports say there is presence of short chain fatty acids? So if ghee is only made from chemicals, Arnab, where did that RM value of 28 come from? When vegetable oils are only used to make ghee, as you say, the RM value has to be close to 0. I mean, which chemical can magically create short chain fatty acids like butyric acid? Tell me that. Also, are you aware that the RM and Polanski values actually destroy the foreign fats present? So, how exactly do added chemicals survive that test? I mean, how do you think the decoration would survive fire? Millions of devotees have been consuming this prasadam for years, but there's been no mass illness, no health crisis, but you believe chemicals only have been used to make this ghee. So it's harmless to the health, but very deadly to your logic.
YV Subba Reddy, right? He has been heading TTD, right?
For a moment in time, yes.
Yeah,
Mr.
for that
Arnab.
moment of time. Can you kindly tell us
Yeah.
whether he has any political links, and if so, what those links are, which party he's from?
Well, he's from
That-
YSRCP.
No, that's it
So,
then. That's the
what's
answer to my question.
Arnab, what do you mean by that's it then? Why is his name not in the charge sheet? Why is he not accused? Why is he not arrested? Are the SIT not competent? Are they incompetent? Is that what you're saying?
Is Jagan a practicing Hindu?
Whether Jagan practices Hinduism is irrelevant here, Arnab. The people have elected him as a chief minister. They've not elected him to be the temple priest. If faith alone mattered, I mean, show me a single policy where he denied Hindu worship. Mixing faith and governments is very dangerous for democracy, Arnab. If personal beliefs can disqualify the leaders, you should not call your channel as Republic channel. You should call it Theocracy channel.
When Jagan as a practicing Christian goes to Vatican, and when he stands there, will he tell anyone, hey, why bring religion into it? Oh, it's religion only, no? Vatican is Christian, Catholic religion center.
My dear Arnab, you are again mixing the both very conveniently. Vatican City is his personal faith, and Tirumala is a constitutional duty. I mean, every citizen in this country, along with the chief minister, is allowed to practice his own religion, isn't it? Vatican is a personal faith, and Tirumala is an official duty. They both can coexist.
1 minute.
Because the filthy
Karthik, when
gentleman
you said with his filthy mouth, 1 minute, just 1 minute. When you said with his filthy mouth, you said, okay?
Yeah, there's no question
First of
about it,
all,
because today he tells that
he
Mr. Arnab, one more
he
question,
will
then
be
you
your
can answer
parent's
that.
age. Have some respect when you talk about. You're closer to Nara's age than his age. So,
Arnab, age deserves respect, yes, but then the same age has to carry words which have more responsibility. Calling someone a filthy mouth is probably an insult to one person, but then spreading false claims about the Tirumala Prasadam is causing harm to the whole faith, which is causing more deeper harm.
I would like to ask Mr. Karthik, one, has adulteration happened or not? Say yes or no. Say yes or no.
cannot,
Adulteration.
No, according to all the reports in the ghee samples given in the charge sheets, it's a big no.
the charge sheet makes adulteration an unquestionable and established fact.
All right, Arnab, you want to discuss the charge sheet? I'm very happy to discuss the charge sheet. Now, the charge sheet, I mean, look at the contradictions in the charge sheet. The charge sheet says, without procuring milk or manufacturing ghee, they have prepared or supplied adulterated ghee using palm oils only. This is what the charge sheet says, which means zero milk and 100% fake ghee, right? Now, if there is no milk procured at all, why are there so many invoices of, ghee procurement? They would need only vegetable oil procurement, right? There has to be only invoices of vegetable oil. Why is there mention of so many ghee invoices in the charge sheet? So first decide what you want to say. Do you want to say the ghee is adulterated, which means there is little bit of ghee and little bit of chemical and little bit of oil? Or do you want to say there is no ghee at all and only chemicals? So decide what you want to say. Or maybe the ghee is pure ghee as decided by the reports. So decide what you want to say. In the charge sheet itself, they speak about the existence of a dairy plant, fossil licenses, naming ghee and milk products, and the presence of lab in charge, who is accused number 22. So why in the world would, if there is no milk procured at all, would someone need a lab in charge, a fossil license, and an existing dairy? Can you tell me why? In the same charge sheet, they say mixing of some compounds to adjust the RM value for complying fossil specifications. If you know how the RM value works, the RM value test is a process where ghee undergoes saponification and distillation, where all the chemicals and all the foreign fats disappear. But you are saying that the chemical compounds have been added to adjust the RM value, which is very contradictory. So Arnab, if you read the charge sheet completely and look at the lab test reports and analyze them scientifically, you will know that there are multiple contradictions in the charge sheet.
The CBI charge sheet records massive adulteration of ghee, fake ghee supplied to TTP as an established fact. The investigation further conclusively finds that the ghee was not pure dairy ghee. It was adulterated with large amounts of chemical additives. Among them are beta-carotene, acetic acid ester, lactic acid food grade, monoglyceride, ghee flavor to adjust the lab test values and maintain aroma.
None of these contribute to the actual milk fat, which is confirmed and present as per the lab test reports, in every lab test report present in the charge sheet. And secondly, all of these that you mentioned are food additives approved by FSSAI. Even the presence of these chemicals does not mean the ghee is adulterated unless you prove that the limits are exceeded.
Thirdly, I'm surprised you are here on the program and don't know that the dilution of tender conditions is a key institutional factor that enabled the supply of the chemical ghee.
The relaxation of conditions in TTD has helped the conspiracy of ghee adulteration, isn't it? So why on earth does your charge sheet, which is a judgment copy for you, does not include these TTD officials who framed those rules as the accused? Why? Why are there no arrests? Can you explain?
Politics कौन लाया? Politics में आप लोग लाए सर.
We have got every right. We have every right to talk because your TDP and your partner, Mr. Pawan Kalyan, is politics.
Josna ji, just by shouting, you don't win arguments. Go ahead, and if you really care about the sentiments of Hindus, then ask your leader, Mr. Chandrababunaidu, to release a white paper about TTD and let people know how many kgs of ghee has been procured since 2014 till 2026, and who are all the people who got the tenders, and how many kgs did each company supply to TTD, and also how many people actually failed those tests. Can you release a white paper and let the people know? If you do that, then you can know that all the fingers of ghee adulteration will point fingers at only one person, that is your leader, Mr. Chandrababunaidu garu.